need to watch the amount of antibiotics that are taken in. Anytime you take antibiotics, you need to, once you're finished with that complete cycle of that, you need to do a month of like probiotic 11, which is 11 different good bacterias, and get into the gut. And you can just open and empty those for children or for anyone who cannot swallow a capsule. Those can be opened up and emptied into applesauce or some yogurt, or mixed up in a little bit of kefir, and add to the amount of good bacteria that's needed to get into that gut. So the black ointment oil, black ointment is an absorbing herbal salve, and it's formulated for topical use only. There is extracts in it of chaparral and lobelia, golden seal, which is antibiotic, comfrey, which externally is extremely high in calcium and silicon, and it's very healing, because nothing heals in our body without calcium. You have to have calcium, good soluble calcium in the system in order for things to heal. There's mullein in that, which is very soothing. Mullein, marshmallow, plantain, red clover is a blood purifier, poke root, chickweed. It's in a base of wheat germ and olive oil and glycerin. There's a little pine gum in that and some beeswax. The other thing that is I mentioned is the golden salve, and that's a natural soothing ointment, and it contains extracts of golden seal as well, and myrrh, which both of those are antibacterial. There's St. John's wort in there, plantain, and it's also in a base of olive oil and beeswax. Chlorophyll is something that I really love for people to use internally. It's full of minerals and trace minerals, and it's pH balancing. So it takes the body out of that acid condition and gets it into an alkaline environment. So any types of viruses and bacteria don't have a chance to multiply in the body. Some of the things that I want you to be aware of that are 7 ingredients that you never ever want to use on your skin. So I want you to be watchful for these, and you might want to write them down, because you want to be watching for those when you're reading the ingredients on a label for things that are going to go topically onto the skin. You know, if you took the skincare and grooming section of a store and you buried it in the ground, it would be declared hazardous, a hazardous waste dump. You know, there are so many dangerous chemicals in the products that are being sold out there. That's why it's really important, like double L countrystore.com. You know, I'm not kidding you. Any of the products that are made there, you could eat them. You could eat them. They are non-toxic. They're soothing and healing to the skin. And they are certainly not something that, you know, that if they ended up on the ground, that they would create a problem with toxicity, as, you know, as hazardous waste. 1 in 8 ingredients used in personal care products are industrial chemicals, and they all include carcinogens, pesticides, there's reproductive toxins, hormone disruptors. Many of these chemicals that are considered safe in low doses by themselves are not safe because they accumulate. And an environmental working group, the EWG, has done, they've done research on this, and they're concerned about the damage that they can cause repetitively used over time. And, you know, and then the layering of all of these different types of products on the skin. You know, and I'm here to tell you, our FDA in the United States, They have no authority over cosmetic manufacturers, and they do not require these companies to test products for safety. Why do you think other countries don't want any of our cosmetics and our skin stuff? It's because of all the garbage that is allowed to go in them. Cosmetic companies use many ingredients, that are toxic to the skin. And they use color additives and substances that are classified as drugs. More than 500 cosmetic products sold in the U.S. contain ingredients that are banned in Japan, Canada, the European Union. Nationally known Palm Beach dermatologist Kenneth Beer, MD. He says that skincare ingredients should be avoided whenever possible. There are so many products that include dioxin, triclosan, products with color pigments. All of these cause potential problems. You really need to be vigilant, and you need to really read labels closely. In rating skin products from a 0 to 10, in terms of increasing hazards, any product rated from 7 to 10 is considered a high hazard. Here's 7 chemicals that I'm going to go through that you don't ever want to have in anything that is going to go into your system or topically onto your system. Number 1 is BHA and BHT. BHA and BHT. These are closely related antioxidants are used as preservatives in moisturizers, makeup, and particularly into lipsticks. They are both linked to endocrine disruptions. BHA has been linked to cancer, and they have been proven to be harmful in fish and other wildlife. Number 2 is coal tar dyes. These are found in dark hair dyes and anti-dandruff products. They are widely linked to cancer and also are contaminated with heavy metals, which are toxic to the brain. Our skin is an absorption organ. You keep putting that on the skin, it's going to absorb it. So coal tar dyes in all of these dark hair colors, after a certain amount of time, it's going to be really worrisome as to what's going on when you're noticing that you're having some neurological symptoms. Might ended up more than likely just all the coloring you put on your hair over the years. Sometimes they're listed on the label as C1 for color index, followed by a 5-digit number. Number 3 is PEG compounds. PEG. This is found in cosmetic cream bases, and also they are contaminated with 1,4-dioxine, a widely known carcinogen. Some manufacturers use a purification process to remove the 1,4-dioxine, but there's no way of knowing for sure which PEG contains a safe amount level for product and consumer safety. So that means anything that says PEG, don't buy it. Number 4, benzoyl peroxide. Pregnant women should stay completely away from this acne medication. If you use it near your mouth, be careful because it's toxic if you swallow it. Benzoyl peroxide. Number 5, dioxin. This ingredient is often found in skin cleansers and other bath products. Dioxins have been linked with cancer. They have been linked to reduced immunity, nervous system disorders, birth defects, one cause of miscarriages is dioxin. So remember, whatever you put on your skin is going to be absorbed through those 3 layers. Once it gets into that fatty tissue, it's held in that fat. These poisons hold themselves into the fat cells in the body. So then they make their way of absorption by way into the bloodstream. Once they make their way into the bloodstream, they're carried off internally throughout every organ and system of the body. So what we put on our skin will ultimately be absorbed and be picked up by the bloodstream and carried throughout the body. Triclosan. This is a synthetic antibacterial chemical, and it's used as a pesticide. It's got the same molecular structure as Agent Orange. That was the defoliant that was used in Vietnam, that was associated with so many health problems and cancers with our soldiers when they came back. So this is, I'm going to spell that for you. You need to make sure that it's not in anything that you're putting on your skin. It is spelled Triclosan. And remember, it is, it has the same molecular structure as Agent Orange. Now, parabens. We see parabens in everything. And you need to keep parabens out of your food and out of any type of shampoos, conditioners, any kind of skin products. You need to have something that has no parabens in it. It's found in antibacterial hand sanitizers. You know, and they're everywhere. These hand sanitizers. I mean, on my granddaughter's 3rd grade list, they wanted her to have 8 bottles of hand sanitizer. You know what? I didn't even buy one. I ordered her in their silver. They are the Silver Sol natural antiviral, antibacterial. It's the Silver Sol wipes. And then what I did is I cut them and put them into little Ziploc bags. So she can use that to clean her hands when she can't go into and use the bathroom. But I've really educated and warned my grandchildren about all of these antibacterial soaps and foams, and everywhere you go, you see all this antibacterial stuff, a couple of pumps, wipe your hands. This stuff is toxic to the liver. The other thing that it does is people who have a septic system, those who use antibacterial soaps, bar soap, laundry soap, dish soap, when these antibacterials get into the septic system, it also kills off all the good bacteria, which then ultimately what ends up happening is your septic system is not breaking down the waste that it should be. And you end up with a problem where, you can end up spending anywhere from $500 to $2,500 correcting that problem once you destroy all the good bacteria in your septic system, and it backs up on you and it won't function properly. So parabens, those are what are found in the antibacterial hand sanitizers and other products. These chemicals interrupt the endocrine system, and they interfere with the male reproductive system function as well. They're commonly used in deodorants and antiperspirants, and they've also been linked to breast cancer. So that 7th one, parabens, get reading labels. You have to read labels. We've got so much with skin disorders nowadays from the lack of good nutrition. Deep fried foods are not a good source for any type of Fat in the body, if you cut all the fat out of the body, what ends up happening is the liver